I wanted to talk about why I decided to almost leave Shopify and why I decided to stay. Hi, welcome to my messy office. I use Shopify and I contemplated leaving because I was really upset that they're going to discontinue this POS Go unit, which scans product barcodes and then brings up the customer's order and then they can tap and pay. And it's all in one unit. It's really great for events. Anyways, they are sunsetting it, and I was really, really upset about it. And I sent many emails to any email I could find over at Shopify. So maybe they'll heed my feedback and panic because they do listen and they do care. And I've been in a lot of Shopify sort of like interviews because they'll ask for surveys and then they will talk to their merchants for feedback on products and how things work in the back end and how they can improve things. So I do think they care. Anyways, aside from that, I wanted to talk about why I decided to almost leave Shopify and why I decided to stay. And the reason I decided to stay is because um, it is so robust. Up until the point where I heard that the POS Gos were being sunsetted, I love Shopify. And the reason why I found Shopify was because, as you know, I sell shirts and stocking shirts in all multiple sizes at the same time is really hard for a small business owner. So I wanted to find a way where certain designs were that were not as popular, but people would request them that I could just make a one-off. So I looked for, there's a lot of print on demand websites, and I think that's a great way to serve customers who are looking for a specific design that a store owner may not be able to justify the cost of a full-on production. So I found Printful, and Printful had a plugin with Shopify. So I looked at Shopify and I started my website, gosh, back in the 90s. And it was, I used to process orders at the end of the day, at night, watching Friends on syndicated reruns, and then walk my shipments over to the post office. But I would process the payments manually through my keyboard. Sorry, I'm gonna adjust my camera. And so I've been through every sort of incarnation of e-commerce from the beginning because I was one of the first web artists to to exist, I guess. Somebody told me that when I went to Annie Revo in Canada. So it hadn't occurred to me that I've been doing this for a really long time. And one of the things that I like about Shopify, it is what you see is what you get. I think you say a WSIG, but basically they have all these themes. You can go and select, you plug in your assets and your art and your product, and it's a website ready to go. So it's super easy. Whereas before I would have to use Dreamweaver and make pages and buttons and all that stuff. The other thing that is great about it is that the payment processing is all in one place. And the other thing that I later learned from being in their surveys, where somebody from Shopify would do a Zoom with me and ask me for my feedback, was I discovered that they have a thing called Marketplace Connect. So I've been on Shopify since I think 2019, and I tried getting on Amazon. I tried getting on other platforms, and I also was on Square because I would use Square for payment processing at events because at the time there were those little white um, little square things that you put into your phone. I think I still have some. I may have thrown them away because those are really obsolete now. So, so inventory was a pain because I would have to put inventory into Square and before an event, and then later I would have to go and like deduct it from the inventory in Shopify. So sometimes I would oversell if it was online. It was just kind of a mess. But what I like about Shopify is that there is one master list. I consider Shopify the brain, and then all of the other apps in the Shopify admin are sort of the limbs of the entity. And the great thing about the Marketplace Connect is I didn't know this until they asked me in one of the Zooms if I knew about it, and I didn't. Oh, sorry, my phone keeps dropping. And so what it does is it takes the inventory from Shopify. You decide whether you want to put your stuff on Etsy or Amazon or Walmart or eBay. And you basically turn it on and you select which products that will feed into that. So when you make a sale on those platforms, you fulfill the order, but it deducts from your Shopify master list, your master inventory. So that was amazing to learn of that. And the other thing that I love about Shopify in the back end is that it has a built-in email newsletter. So at events, which is why I love this POS Go unit, is because at checkout, if somebody wants to keep up with my comic strip, I will get their email. They'll enter it in. I hand it to them. They type it in, give it back to me, and they are now like this part of this creative ecosystem of my weekly comics. And I used to use, before I did the email newsletter through Shopify, I used to use MailChimp. And MailChimp was so cost prohibitive. So my email list grew a lot, and it's quite a large list. So there was one time it was hitting like $500 a month for me to send this email. And I was like, I cannot do that. Like, that's just so expensive. So I stopped using MailChimp and I just sat on it because I was like, I cannot justify that cost. And also, like, sometimes I would get sales from people, clicking on a link through my newsletter. But generally, I'm keeping it just because I want people to read my comics and just to create that relationship. So I was in the Shopify back admin just poking around, and I saw like email newsletter or something. And I was like, what's this? And I was like, what? So you can send 10,000 free emails a month. And after that, I think it's $1 per 10,000 emails after that or something. I'm now hitting that. So I actually do pay for my emails per month, but still it's like not even close to $500. It's way less. So I love it for that. And also what I love about Shopify is that whatever kind of app you need, like I have a really horrible experience with my accountant. So I'm an artist who went to business. I'm not a business person that went to art. Like I am learning it sort of ass backwards. But one of the things that happened was that when I went back to work and I started, sorry, my favorite camera's dropping. When I started the website, I had a new accountant who was very patient with me, but I think the third year, he was asking me what my cogs were, and I was like, what are cogs? And then he dropped me because as you could tell from me not knowing what cogs are, like cost of goods sold, my accounting was a mess. So I had gone to, I was in a panic because taxes were due in a month. And I found this really old 80-year-old man who had room in his client list because every other accountant was full. So yeah, it didn't work out because we talked 4 more times after our meeting and he kept repeating himself. And I thought, yeah, I don't think that he should be working anymore. So I asked for his invoice, and then I found some younger accountant on Yelp, and we've been with her. But he actually was trying to clean up my books in the back end, and he quoted me $4,000, and I was like, no, just stop what you're doing. I'll figure this out. So I kept thinking, there's got to be some automated way. Anyways, I did find a plugin through the Shopify app marketplace. I use Final Loop. I really like them. So anyways, I have built a very easy automated ecosystem of Shopify with plugin apps and emails and, these different sort of some tools. And I love this. And I really hope Shopify brings this back because in my research of what I'm going to do after September 2026, when they sunset these completely and the scanner stops working, um, I may go to Square handheld, which is really cool because it's kind of like this but white, and it does the same thing. So I emailed Shopify and I told them, "Hey, your competitor just launched this new handheld in May 2025, and I know that you announced that you're sunsetting this sometime in like 2025, like in the beginning of the year or maybe 2024, I can't remember, but I love these things and I love Shopify because even though I wanted to leave them because I was so mad that they're sunsetting this, um, they are really robust for e-commerce. They also do international sales. And if you get an international sale, there's, like, I don't know the lingo, but like the software of that process is such that the merchant is still protected if it goes to another country. It takes care of duties and things like that. So, anyways, I I signed up to be a Shopify affiliate about a month or two ago. They almost deactivated me because I was like so mad that they haven't. I'm still mad about this POS Gos because I love these things. But after I cooled down and did more research, and I realized the way I'm going to move forward is that I'm still going to have Shopify. There is a plugin for Square, so I can use the Square handheld if that's the worst case scenario. But the thing that gets me is like Shopify does take a percentage of sales for sales garnered through the POS Go. So now because I'm going to use the Square handheld, the Square payment processing will now take that percentage. So I don't know why they would want to do that. But anyways, going back to the affiliate, I contemplated just leaving, but I can't because it is really robust. And I'm a one-person business, but Shopify is so robust it could handle multiple locations and storefronts internationally. And I don't know that I'll ever get there, but you never know. It's possible. And Shopify, I feel, gives me the scale that I can grow into that or stay as I am. So anyways, my Shopify affiliate link is down below in the description. I may earn a commission if you decide to sign up. And that is my honest review of Shopify. I hope this helps. Okay,